I am once again back at the Plunge headquarters and factory here in Sacramento, California, and today I'm going to show you exactly how the Plunge All-In Gen 2 is made. And it starts right here. You know, Plunge does have their own exclusive manufacturing plant that's in China that works specifically and only on Plunge products. So the tubs are made there and then shipped here. And I'm sure it would save them a ton of money if they did what most brands do, and that's ship them from China straight to you. But that is not the case. The first step is inspecting the tub. Make sure there's no shipping damage and there's no problems with the tub itself. And the next step is they have to actually connect all of the tubing that happens underneath and inside your tub, things you will never actually see. The reason this is called the Plunge All-In is because everything is built all inside. There's still a lot that has to happen. Water still has to go from your tub through tubes into the chiller and through the filters, have ozone pumped into it, and then go right back into the tub itself. So they have to manually connect all of the hoses and tubes that happen underneath the tub itself. From the front all the way to the back, they even put insulation around some of the tubing to cut back on condensation, and that insulation also helps keep the water nice and cold. So once all the plumbing is installed and everything's inspected and the tub is flipped over, the very next test is they go over and actually do a water test to make sure there is no leaks happening from any of the plumbing they just installed. What's interesting about how Plunge does their water testing is, unlike some places where they're just gonna use a hose water, they recycle the water, so there's no waste. And as you see here, this is the newest generation of tub, and you see the water is filled up past all of the points where the water can actually go into the tub. And you notice back here, there's no chiller, there's nothing installed. They have everything capped off to keep water from leaking out. And once this passed the test, then the chiller actually gets installed. But guess what? They do another water test after that. And they don't just do it on the Plunge All-In, they do water testing just like this on every single product. Whether it's their standard tub, their pod, or their All-In, they do the same testing on everything. So this deserves a video all on its own, but this is their Gen 2 V2 Pro chiller that now comes with their pod and their other products that are not their All-In. And there's a very similar process that happens back here to make sure that these chillers are ready for you when they hit your doorstep. But that's not what this video is about. Let's keep talking about the Plunge All-In. So after the tub passes its water inspection and they siphon the water back out, then it is spray foam insulated and they add this insulation wrap on the back side. So this is when all the insulation is added to the rest of the tubes, to the rest of the tub, and then spray foam insulation is caked down on the inside to keep the water nice and cold, but also cut back on condensation if you do decide you want to have this inside your garage, your gym, or your house. And then after the insulation is added and these tubs are brought to this point on the line, if it has a heater, the heater gets installed, and obviously they all have chillers, so this is also where the chiller then will get installed. And you might not have known this, but Plunge does the same process on their commercial All-In as well. And their commercial All-In, if you have a commercial setting and you want to put one of these in your gym, in your recovery center, they actually have this entire setup, which is an auto-dosing feature that helps manage the water's pH level and manages your water sanitization. So it keeps the water really, really clean so you can have multiple users using it every day without having to have someone constantly using pH testing strips to test your water to see if it's clean and sanitary. So we're seeing another step in the process I didn't even know happened. So once the spray foam is put in there, this gentleman has to cut any of the excess so that when it is flipped over and put on the flat level surface, this doesn't cause it to sit unbalanced and unlevel. And you're also noticing they have multiple legs. They actually have, 7 different legs in here that are adjustable to make sure that it is flat. So when you do put it on your ground, when you get it home, it's not going to wobble, and you're also not sitting it right down here on this material. And if you're curious about the tub's build, you have fiberglass, insulation, wood, and metal all inside here to make this a super stable but also lightweight cold plunge. So at this point of the process, this is where things can get a little bit different, because the chiller is always going to get installed, and the chiller is going to have the ozone installed already on it, but the filter is also installed. If it does have the optional heater, the heater gets installed. If it's a commercial max and it does have the auto dosing feature, all of that is going to be installed. So once it leaves this point here, it gets flipped back over once everything's installed to go through another water test, but this time with the chiller running. So then they can really pin it down and see if there's any leaks or if there's any problems. And like I mentioned, this process happens on all of their products, whether it's the standard tub with the new chiller itself, Everything is operating and running currently in this, whether you get the pod with the chiller or if you get the all-in. They do the same testing, the same sequence of events happen on every single product that leaves this factory. Every tub you see here is set to its lowest setting and they're all chilled down. The water is currently 37 degrees in all of these tubs. Water is cycling through the filtration system. Water is cycling through the chiller. You see, Plunge wants to make sure that if a problem is gonna happen with one of their products, they want it to happen here. So that's why they do so many different levels of testings before the product is ever shipped to you. And they want to ensure me and you that if a problem does ever happen, they have your back. They have a great warranty. They have a great network of technicians. I actually experienced that on my sauna here recently, or a technician came out and basically rebuilt my sauna because I did it wrong. But that level of service and this level of testing doesn't happen with every single product that gets shipped out these days. The next step in the process is it gets rolled over here where this gentleman is actually testing all of the sensors on that particular chiller. And these chillers are equipped with multiple sensors. So he's testing out every one of those sensors to see the reading on that particular chiller to see if there is a potential issue that they can fix right now. Another really important reason why you want to connect your Plunge product to the Plunge app is your product is constantly sending a signal to the Plunge team, which is constantly sending a signal back to your app to tell you when it's time to change your filter, to tell you when it's time to do some maintenance on your filters or your chillers, to tell you if there's a flow problem, to tell you if there's a chilling problem. So there's a lot of fail safes to make sure that once this product arrives at your door, and even for a long time after you purchase it, you're gonna have a great experience owning this product. And after the water testing, the sensor testing, all of the tests are passed by multiple people, then cosmetically it gets put together. They'll put the cover over the chiller. They'll make sure that everything's on there right. They'll do any buffing, they'll do any touch-ups, anything that needs to be done to make sure that the product hits your doorstep looking absolutely perfect. It all happens right here before packaging. And once everything's done, it's put right here on the pallet. And the pallet is where everything gets packaged up. And then the last step is any accessories that you purchase, the lid, all of the products get put into the box gets sealed, the box gets put on this roller, taken out to a truck, where it finally gets delivered. Well, my friends, that is how the Plunge All-In is made. And as you can see, there's a lot of different people. There's a lot of touch points that actually happen to ensure that your product is not only designed flawlessly so that it arrives to your door and you're able to just plug it in, fill it up and use it, but tons of fail safes are done in the process. And this is why I wanted to make this video, because you know, it's kind of interesting to me. I'm somebody who reviews all health and wellness products. I get invited to different factories. I get to see different things. I get to have great conversations and relationships with the founders of a lot of these brands. And if there's one question I constantly get, it's like, hey, why does Plunge have like negative reviews online? Well, Plunge is the pioneers in the space. They were one of the first direct-to-consumer brands that brought cold plunging and saunas to your doorstep. That means there's a lot of products that exist out there. There's a lot of V1 products, version 1 products that exist out there. And unfortunately, a lot of V1 and version 1 products had some problems, and that's why they're constantly upping the game. They're constantly changing the game. And that's why I felt like I needed to make a video like this to just show you this product isn't just made overseas and then shipped to your house. And unfortunately, there's a lot of brands that do just that. You got to see a little behind the scenes, just a small amount, a random Tuesday that I'm here in the factory, just seeing some of the things that happen. So I have confidence recommending Plunge, whether they brought me out here or not. I have confidence recommending Plunge. I know a lot more people that have had positive experiences with their Plunge product than people who have had negative experiences. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have negative experiences don't have negative experiences long term. Plunge steps in, they want to take care of you. They want you to have a great ownership experience. They have a great technician network that's there that has your back, and I think they're worthy of consideration. So if you decide you want to get one for yourself, you can use the link down in the video description and my discount code MAUS, that's MAUS. It'll save you an exclusive stackable discount. You can use that or not. That's really not the point, but if you do decide you want to purchase, it supports the channel, saves you some extra money that you won't save anywhere else, so that's always a good thing. Either way, I appreciate you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you some value, gave you some insight, gave you some behind the scenes. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless.